Sue Troy, Executive Editor for the IoT Institute, and I am here at IoT World 2017 with Ganesh Bell. He is Chief Digital Officer for GE Power. Ganesh, nice to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Tell us a little bit about your organization and your role within the organization at GE Power.
Sure. I joined GE about more than 3.5 years ago with a simple belief that every industry, every business will be reimagined with software. And I joined GE as the first ever Chief Digital Officer. Now I focus on our power business, which is the largest industrial business in GE. That means looking at the entire sector of power and utilities along with other businesses and see how this industry is getting reimagined with software and working across a new business that we stood up in GE focused on digital technologies that we call GE Digital. So driving our platform, which we call Predix, and also building a digital business for GE, which is a whole new franchise from the hardware versus services business that we've been in for the last 125 years.
So you're going to be speaking later today in a session titled The New Age of Industrial IoT. What kind of recommendations do you expect to be making?
So, we're very excited about being at the show because there's a lot of progress over the last 5-10 years about censoring lots of different environments and also talking about consumer IoT. We think there's a world of industrial IoT that is happening, and we also believe that industrial IoT will dwarf the consumer internet. It's a much bigger market opportunity. There's about $8.6 trillion of value by various estimates, and that may be conservative over the next decade. There's almost 1.6 trillion of that is just in one sector, which is power or energy. And we think of how not just big industrial assets are getting connected, but also their settings are getting connected, and how people and machines, drones and robots at work, and how that's all coming together with AI and machine learning. That's a whole new world where I think every business in this industry and every industry will be reimagined with software and algorithms.
Tell me a little bit about GE's industrial IoT metamorphosis. So how has the company changed?
So at GE, we are a 125-year-old company, and we're now trying to become a 125-year-old startup. And I would say we kind of noticed this where through the 90s and 2010, that over the 20-year period, the global industrial productivity has been about 4%. Starting 2011, it had declined to about 1%. So we had to do something because several decades of deploying just traditional business process software hasn't solved any problem. And these are asset-centric industries where the productivity is connected deep within the assets, and you've got to unlock that. So we started looking at, all right, what can we do with all of these assets? Because these assets sit in big industrial environment. If you take a wind farm, a wind turbine is connected to all the assets in the wind farm, or a gas turbine sits in a power plant, or our jet engine connects to a whole plane and an airplane hangar and all the operations that are out there. So we started connecting all of these machines and collecting the data and seeing what we can do. So we started moving from assets to the settings, and then started connecting all the people that are around. And we came up with the idea that, okay, all of this requires a whole new approach of how we view data. And we built a purpose-built operating system that we call Predix, which is about connecting all of the data from the edge to the cloud, and we started building a suite of applications on top that we're now transforming ourselves and transforming all the industries that we're in with our customers.
There has been sort of a shortage of high-profile IoT success stories up until now. Why do you think that is?
See, I would say the market is very young, and we've been laser focused on it for almost 5 years, and for many people that are coming in, because they're excited and the hype is warranted, it is a big market opportunity. Many industrial players, software players, consulting players, startups, they're all coming in. And for many who are new, yes, it is very nascent. There is no success stories. But for us, I actually believe 2016 was a major tipping point. And if I just look at the industry that we're in, which is power and utilities, there's about, just in 18 months, we had 40+ customers across the globe. This is a global phenomenon. It's happening not just here. In fact, it's happening faster in the rest of the world, and people are starting to connect their assets, they connect their settings, connecting their people, and we're starting to see a lot of success stories. And I believe 2016 was a big tipping point, and 2017 will be a formation year.
And so what has GE Power been doing to facilitate industrial IoT in power and utilities?
So I talked about this industry of power and utilities is one of the biggest industries that's about to benefit from digital transformation. In fact, the World Economic Forum estimates that it's about $1.3 trillion of value just in the electricity sector. just by deploying digital technologies. And then there's over $2 trillion of societal value, like eliminating carbon and emissions, as well as creating 3 million new jobs at the intersection of energy and software. So what we're doing is we built a purpose-built platform called Predix, which is our industrial internet platform that connects everything from edge to cloud. And on top of that, we're building a suite of applications. Think of them as just like we won't operate businesses without ERP and finance and CRM software. We're now creating suites of software like we call asset performance management that improve the reliability and eliminating unplanned downtime from machines. We're also creating suites of software that we call operations optimization. That's about connecting machines with people and business processes so you can optimize a new way of working and soon robots and drones at work. And also creating a suite of software that we call business optimization that looks at market signals and data outside of your company and helps you optimize your industrial asset-centric operations to take advantage of market-based pricing. So with that, we're seeing a lot of big companies adopt it across many different sectors, from energy, aviation, transportation, oil and gas, and even outside of industries like mailing and logistics and manufacturing, to name a few. But in power and utilities, we're seeing about 40 plus companies across the world in just the last 18 months make digital a board priority, and they're also hiring chief digital officers, chief transformation officers, and they're well on their journey to becoming a digital business, and we're partnering with them and helping them.
And so of all those sort of activities happening across industries, what would be the most compelling industrial IoT use case that you've seen so far?
How much time do you have? I've got a lot of use cases, so I'll just go rattle off a few. I'll start with one of the biggest industries that I work in every day is power and utilities. We have examples like a company like A2A, a multi-utility in northern Italy, reopened power plants that were shut down because it was no longer feasible in the market to operate them. Because of the power of our software, digital twin, and analytics, we know they can be competitive. They're actually competitive and operating mothballed power plants. We got companies like PSEG who are running simulations and our asset performance software and driving unplanned downtime, which means millions of dollars per site for them. And we've got customers like Hubco all the way in Pakistan, who are going to drive about $250 million just by adopting our asset performance management and operations optimization software over the next decade. That's real value. And we see value across other industries as well, like oil and gas. BP is using our Predix and APM software to drive unplanned downtime down and eliminate maintenance and improve their productivity. We're also seeing companies like Pitney Bowes, who is using our software and building their own digital solutions to connect all of their mail sorting operations, doing inserting, mail finishing operations, and provide their customers a digitally connected experience. And we're also seeing companies like Exelon, who are some of the biggest utilities, one of the biggest utilities in North America, reinvent their company around digital transformation. I could keep going on. Port of LA is connecting all of their shipping containers, yards, to IoT and Predix in our APM platform to reimagine how a connected environment would look like.
Yeah, cool.
And I would say the biggest example probably is us. We're a 124-year-old company, and we now are a legitimate digital software player with over $5 billion in orders last year in our digital business.
Yeah. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you to look ahead a little bit to do some future sort of prognostication. So what industrial IoT use cases do you anticipate coming forward over the next 12 months as being very compelling?
It's a great question. If I look to the next 12 months, I would say just like there's a lot of value, low-hanging fruit, just by deploying technologies like asset performance management, adopting a industrial IoT platform like Predix, and connecting assets, not just individual assets, but the entire environments or settings. That means it's hospitals, it's power plants, it's shipping yards and airline hangars. Connecting all of the environments, there's a lot of value to be driven out there. But when I look a little bit further, we just made a couple of acquisitions. We acquired ServiceMax, which is the leader in field service automation. We're seeing a new world emerge of where it's not just people at work, it's people, machines, robots, drones at work. So they're starting to come together, so there's new business processes that are going to happen. And when we look into a little bit more into the future, I see manufacturing getting reimagined. And it's not just about software and sensors, it's also about additive manufacturing. So when you think about a new world of additive manufacturing and on-demand manufacturing, it reimagines supply networks. And then I think we're still at the early stages of machine learning and AI, and how we can actually do full coverage, predictive maintenance, analysis, predictions, and outcomes. I think we're going to see a massive improvement in that field over the next 12 months, and I still think it's very nascent in early stages. The next 5 years is going to be even more so exciting. But if I look forward to the next 5 years, I would say this year we may start to see some seeds of how the entire enterprise software industry may be disrupted and reimagined with industrial IoT.
Very cool. Okay, well, thank you, Ganesh. This has been really informative, helpful, great discussion with you, and look forward to your talk later on at the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks for having me out here.
Thank you very much.